get started. So, guys, they said I should try and reduce the amount of time we spend together. Does that sound like a good idea? Hands up, you think that's a good idea? All right, thank you so much. I feel so good now. All right, so they've got a countdown time. It's on 14 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to get started. So the title I've been given is How to Generate $500,000 in a Fully Automated Webinar Without Selling. That's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to share with you a process. Now, instead of me actually telling you how to create a webinar, what I like to do in 15 minutes is actually build out a webinar with you in live time. So it's going to be a little bit on the fly. Who would like me to do that? Is that something you'd like me to do? All right, so I'd like to basically work with you, and let's build a webinar out together in live time. So I'm going to show you how I create a webinar on the fly. So see what happens. We've got 15 minutes before I get booted off. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the introduction. So now I'm going to presume this is the beginning of the webinar. All right, so presume we're on a webinar right now, and I'm going to ask you guys, I need you to interact with me. Number one, guys, who in this room, by the way, you guys understand English, or am I talking to myself? Who understands English? Okay, great. Now, who in this room has a product to sell? Hands in the air. I want to see everyone. If you've got a product, you work for Get Response, you surely got a product to sell. Okay, who in this room has, if you haven't got a product to sell, or you have, has an expertise? Who here claims they are an expert in something? All right, it's a good thing I can't see anyone. Now, final question, I can see you guys. Who here has not got a product to sell and does not have expertise? You don't know what to sell. You don't think you're really an expert that you could even sell your expertise online. Hands in the air if you have neither a product or you're not an expert. Hands up. Right, it's always in Israel like that, and it's impossible that you're not going to be an expert in something. So everyone has got something to sell, correct? We're in agreement. Okay, great. So what I'm going to share with you, with the products or your expertise, I'm going to show you, before I get there, I'm going to ask you a different question. Who here feels with their product that they have or the expertise that right now you feel you're selling less than you should be? Hands up in the air if you agree that you are selling less than you could and should be selling. You're an underachiever. Who here feels emotionally that you are an underachiever with your expertise that you have, with the knowledge you have, with the potential you have, you are underachieving? Hands up in the air. Be honest, guys. I need you to interact with me. All right. Let's carry on. And who here feels with their products, perhaps you're undercharging? Get Response, don't listen. Who here feels that you are undercharging? That you really should be charging more for your products? Yossi? Should be charging more for your product. Hands up. Who agrees? You could be charging more and you feel that you're underachieving as a result. Okay. So in fact, it's now 12 minutes, so you can tell I'm doing this on the fly. I'm going to show you how you can sell more at higher prices with less effort, with more information, whilst removing all of the guessing from your sales and marketing. That sound good for 12 minutes? Okay, so I'm also going to show you how you can do this with basic products. I don't care, even if you're just in some way you're an expert, or even if you don't have an expertise, you can do this for other people. And I'm going to show you how you can do this, even if you hate to sell and you hate speaking to an audience like I do. I'm not very good at it. You guys, anyone can do this. So, hands up if you would be excited to be able to generate a lot more sales at higher price points with more automation while removing all of the guesswork. Hands in the air if you think that is a premise you would like to achieve. Right? Who doesn't? Hands up if you don't want to achieve that. So everyone. Great. Guys, what did I just do? What I just did with you in the last 3 minutes, I know you're keeping the tally of the time here. What I just did in the last 3 minutes is I just framed the presentation. That was my webinar. That's how I do an introduction. Why? I want to get people interested in what I'm talking about. That is the beginning of a webinar. If you can catch people in the first 5 minutes and get their interest and show them what you're about to share with them is going to transform whatever it is that they want to achieve, you have them hooked. Because what you're doing is you've created a break in the cycle in their minds. Wait a minute, really? I'm an underachiever? That's terrible. How am I? And now they are glued to you. They are glued to you. They now want to hear the solution, the answer. But that's what we do in an introduction on a webinar. What else I did, guys, I'm not sure if you spotted this, but I started to remove objections. Be honest, guys. At the beginning, when I said that, I'm going to show you how you can make a lot more sales at high price points in your webinars. Who felt a little bit left out? Because maybe they don't have a product and they're not an expert. Who felt a little bit left out? Put your hands up. You felt a little bit left out, which is why I mentioned that you don't even need to have a product. You don't even need to be an expert because you can work for other people. So that was my introduction, first 5 minutes. Does this make sense so far, guys? Yes or no? Give me a hands up if you think that makes sense. Okay. Now, by the way, the second thing I'm doing is I'm making you interact, right? Why? Because we just ate a lot of chicken, right? So everyone's eaten, and when you eat a lot, you start to fall asleep. When you're on a webinar at 10 o'clock at night in Israel, 3 o'clock in the afternoon in America, people have got 101 things to do. So if you're not keeping them interacting with you, you're not forcing them to take an action, even with just a big yes, or getting them to lift up the hand, or on a webinar and say, give me a big yes, you are losing your audience. So now let's get to the second part. We've done an introduction, 5 minutes. I've got 9 minutes and 45 seconds to finish this very long presentation. So part number 2 is the middle section. What am I trying to achieve in the second section is I'm trying to create a relationship through my expertise. I want to show that I am an expert, whether I'm into online marketing, I'm onto digital marketing, I'm a psychologist, I am a musician, and I want to show people my talent. I need to prove that I am the person that you should be listening to. Okay, so let's see if we can do that in about 4 minutes. Okay, guys, now we're going back to the webinar, right? I just showed you what happened in the beginning. Now we're going into the webinar again. All right, guys, before I share with you my webinar formula, let me first share with you how I firsthand discovered the power of webinars. It happened 10 years ago when I first thought about building an online business. Does anyone know who this person is on the screen? Shout out a big yes if you know who the person on the screen is. Okay, good. You can read. Excellent. That is J. Conrad Levinson. So J. Conrad Levinson was the founder of Guerrilla Marketing, Tony the Tiger, the Pillsboro Boy. So I was starting out online. I had no clue what I was doing. My background's in education. I've never built a business my entire life at that point. I just had a dream that I was going to build a business. I started sending out emails to all the biggest business and online experts I could imagine, everyone. Eventually, I started to work with some of these people like Russell Brunson, J. Conrad Levinson, and I was sending out these messages, no one answered. Until, and I must have sent about 30, 40 emails to the different experts, J. Conrad Levinson responded and said to me, Barry, I've got a problem. Well, I'm asking him for help. I want to build a business from scratch. I want him to help me. And he actually responded to me and says, I've got a problem. I said, what's the problem, Jay, in the email? How can I help? He says, I'm meant to be doing a live event in my house next week, and the guy in my organization who's meant to be interviewing me is sick. I need you to step in and help me. So here I am, a complete newbie, had no idea what the heck I was doing, was then called upon by the greatest marketer in living history to help him sell to his audience. I said, Jay, what do I have to do? He says, all you have to do is ask these following 7, 8 questions. So I get on a webinar with J. Conrad Levinson, and I ask him the questions, the exact guerrilla questions that he asked me to ask him. I did exactly what he did. I was fumbling. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was completely useless. Anyway, J. Conrad Levinson gets an email from a company in the US. It was a startup company that said, we really want to get in touch with Barry Plaskow. He is obviously clearly a guerrilla marketing expert, and we need to get in touch with him. So they get in touch with me, and they say, we want to bring you onto our team as the guerrilla marketing expert. And I said, sure, let's get it. I was about to lose my house at the time. And they invited me to America, and that was my first gig, my first time that I realized the power of a webinar. By association, all I was sitting with J. Conrad Levinson for about an hour, asking him the questions that he asked me to ask him. I had people reach out to me, wanted me to work for them, and I was able to charge them. That's how I got started. That's how I learned marketing. I had no choice. Someone is employing me as the head of marketing for a startup. I had to learn marketing because that introduced me to the power of webinars. Guys, have I just showed you something about the power of webinars and showed you a little bit about me? Do you see what's going on here? This is what I'll do on the webinar. Now, 2011, 2012, I was working really hard. I started to do launches online, and I was working really hard. I was selling products, but at very cheap prices. So these are amazing products. I was finding really top experts with amazing software, and I was like selling them for $37, $47, $97. I was working literally 24/6, literally all day, all night, and we were making significant sales, but I was working extremely hard. And then someone told me, we had a good client list as a result, but then I realized I'm not building an online business in order to work 24/6. That doesn't make any sense. And then someone told me, you know what? Why didn't you do a webinar? So I literally saw the 10 best webinars that were around at the time. I copied the formula, and we went on a webinar and took the same product, was worth 10 times what we were selling it for. We went online, my partner and I at the time, we sold it, instead of selling it at $47, we sold it at $997, and we made more on one webinar, made over $100,000 in one webinar than we made the entire previous month from one single webinar. And I'm going to share with you, By the way, these were the same products that I was selling before at $67, $97. I was able to sell them for 10 times more, attracted way better clients, because instead of working with like tens of thousands of people that are buying products at cheap prices and it's very hard to deal with, I was working with the elite, people that I really wanted to work with. I was attracting amazing people to work with. People that have been with me now for the last 10 years have bought a lot of our products. We've helped them a lot. We've been able to help a lot of people, but it's because of I was able to connect with really good people because of the price points that I was charging. And then we started helping other experts as well, and that's how I started working with Russell Brunson and people like that. Now, 5 reasons why webinars work. Why are they so powerful? 5 reasons. Number 1, it's just an incredible way of building a relationship with your list. You get people on a webinar, you're building a relationship. People don't buy products, they buy based on a relationship. You guys probably have a relationship with a brand that you like or with a person that you like, and you always go back to the same people, the same brand, because you have a relationship with that brand or that person. So on a webinar, in that 1 hour that you spend with them, you literally can take someone that doesn't know you to get them to know, like, and secondly, trust you, which is point number 2, authority. You become an authority. I'm standing on a stage, I seem like an authority just because I'm standing on a stage with a microphone, and they can't cut me off in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. I got the microphone, they don't. So, authority, that is the second point that happens on a webinar. You send someone to a sales page, you have no authority. What's your conversions going to be like? But if you can get someone to interact with you for an hour, can listen to you for an hour, you're interacting with them, you charge a lot more, you get authority, and you're going to convert a lot better. Number 3, what you're able to do, and this is the concept, if you like, of the entire webinar, is you're building an amazing amount of pain in the audience. You find what is missing. So if you've got a product, a software that solves a solution, you first show that person, Yossi, you show the pain that that person is feeling. What is he missing? Why is he or she not able to achieve what they want? If it's weight loss, why is it they're not able to lose weight? If they can't get fit, why is it that they're failing in their attempts to get fit? If they can't make money, why can't they do it? You find the pain points. You elaborate on the pain points. You're almost sticking like a dagger in their hearts. They're in pain. They feel the pain. You feel their pain. They recognize that you recognize their pain. What do they believe you therefore have? The solution. You then have the opportunity to share with them how your product, your expertise, solves their problem. I'll give you an example. I worked with a guy when our webinar started to really take off. So there's a guy that came to visit me. I live in Mali Adumim, and I said to him, "Look, anyone live in Mali Adumim?" Okay, so we went out for a coffee. And he was building like a ebook business. He was literally just selling ebooks, wasn't making enough money, went into million shekels of debt from his people that invested in him. And I told him, instead of selling ebooks, take the pain. So he was working, for example, with a relationship expert. I said, speak to your list, talk about issues with relationships, get the expert to produce a webinar based on this formula, share the pain of what's happening in the family as a result of the relationship breakdown within the family, and then show how the expert can provide a solution. He sold, instead of selling that very same ebook for $3 or $4, he was selling it at $200, $197, and he was getting 30% conversions. He charged 70 times more, got 3 or 4 times higher conversions, and instead of losing money, he was making a lot of money. Last time I saw him, he was in 6 figures a month, purely because he took this form. And this is a regular guy, by the way, Israeli, doesn't speak English. And what did he do? He got the formula so simple. He got his secretary, who's like literally a wooden actor. She's not listening. She's like a wooden actress, literally was just following the script that I wrote for them, and the thing was converting like crazy. Why? Because they built the webinar based on the formula that just works. Now, what else happens on a webinar? You win time to remove objections. People are looking to purchase, but they have things that are holding them back. So if you can get them to open up and share why on earth they're not buying, you remove the objections, what happens? Your conversions increase. You then, at that point, create an irresistible offer. Guys, if you do this right, and you have built, and these 5 points click together, what happens is, and Matthew right over there, who's our affiliate manager, sitting over there with a very nice blue jacket on over there, sitting in the corner, right, the really attractive guy over there. Good, round of applause from Yossi, thank you so much. We plant people in the audience for this thing. Okay, so when these things click, after about 20 to 30 minutes, we see on every single winning webinar, people saying, give me the damn buy now button. They want to purchase after 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you've done your work well, people are buying straight away. So within 20, 30 minutes, that's what happens. Dan Kennedy said it very nicely. People have an umbilical cord that they want to stick into someone. Provide them with the opportunity. That's what they want. So if they can tap into you, make you the person that they stick the umbilical cord into, they will purchase your stuff. So the benefits of webinars, you can sell more, higher price points, create amazing relationships. I have people that have stayed with me for 10 years. So imagine if you could, by means of this entertainment that you create around the sales process, that people like it, that they come back again and again and again, you can sell, upsell, and upsell. A client for us, when I was in the old days, when I was selling at lower price points, an average client's worth to us $200 or $300. By the time we're doing webinars in full flow, they were worth $3,000 to $4,000 each one every year. Guys, who would be excited if you could do this for your product and your service? Give me a big yes in the room. I want to say here a big yes. Yes. I can't hear you. Give me a big yes if you would like to do this. All right, guys, so imagine what just happened. Can I just take 2 more minutes? Thank you so much. All right, so this is, we're working together here. So this is what I just did. I showed my expertise. I showed you some numbers. I threw out some numbers just on the side. You say, oh, wow, this sounds really good. I presented you with the dream of what you could do with webinars, showed you the formula of how, I know in very short, because they gave me a very short amount of time, I got you emotionally excited about the prospect and be able to do this. And then what am I going to do next, guys? Who knows? What am I about to do next? I'm not going to make a pitch now. I would then provide you with a solution. Don't worry, I'm not going to pitch. That happens outside. I'm joking. So we're not going to pitch. But right now, I would line this up. If this was a webinar, right now, I would hit you up with a special offer. I want you to be honest. If I provided you right now, I'm not going to, don't worry. If I was to provide you with a special offer that would make it irresistible, that I could show you and prove to you and give you a guarantee that you could be able to generate more sales with less time, with more automation, who here would purchase that product? I'm not selling, but I just want to know. Give me a hands up if you would be honest. Hands up if you would. Should be ashamed, only about 50, 60% of you. Okay, so the other 30% I didn't have enough time to sell. But guys, if you saw, right, if people put their hands up in the air, that is the proof of you didn't. I'm going to deal with you afterwards. Matthew, take him outside. All right, so guys, that is the purpose of a webinar, is to get more people to purchase. Guys, I wish you luck. If you need any help, if I can help you, any of your products, any of your services, Matthew, stand up. He's our affiliate manager. One of the beautiful things about webinars is you can automate the process. You always know you're going to finish because this guy comes in. He's about to stand on the stage. So if you need any help with your webinars whatsoever, just come up, talk to us. We'll be happy to help you any shape or form we can. But the most important thing, guys, is to think bigger. Don't be restricted with your concepts of what you think your product is worth. If you know that you've got something brilliant, you need to believe it and think about ways that you can provide better service. If you charge more, you can work with less clients. Give them a better service, give them an amazing feeling, and build an amazing relationship, and then in the future you'll be able to sell more, and you get you're a lot happier, they're a lot happier, and you make a lot more money. Thank you so much.